So, you're a Fitbit user, right? And you're tired of it? I mean, waking up to see those frustrating dashed lines instead of your SpO2 data? Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. That's one of the most important health metrics on your device. Well, you're in the right place, because today, we're not just going to talk about the problem, we're going to get it fixed.
All right, let's just jump right in. Does this screen look painfully familiar? You wear your watch all night expecting some really valuable insights into your health, and instead you get zilch, nothing, just two frustrating dashes. Look, you are definitely not alone with this problem. And the really good news? The fix is actually pretty straightforward.
Yep, these are the culprits. These two little dashes mean no data was collected, and it just leaves you wondering, right? Is my watch broken? Did I mess something up? The answer is almost certainly no. So let's do this. Let's turn these dashes into the real, valuable health data you've been missing out on.
Okay, so to get this fixed, we first have to understand how your watch actually sees into your body. It's not magic. It's actually a surprisingly simple bit of science. And once you get this, you'll know exactly what's going wrong and, more importantly, how to fix it for good. It all comes down to this ridiculously long word, photoplethysmography, or let's just call it PPG, okay? Don't let that name scare you off. All it really means is that your watch is using light to see the changes in your blood volume. It's a really clever and totally harmless piece of tech sitting right on your wrist. So, how does it actually work? Well, you know those little red and infrared lights in the back of your Fitbit? First, they shine a light into your skin. Then, a sensor literally reads how much of that light bounces back. And here's the cool part. Blood that's full of oxygen reflects light differently than blood with less oxygen. The watch just measures that difference and bam! It calculates your SpO2 percentage. It's a brilliant system, but it's also pretty simple when you break it down. All right, so we get the how. Now let's get to the why the heck isn't it working. And look, it doesn't matter which Fitbit you have, an old one, a new one, there are 3 golden rules. If you get these right, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to solve 99% of your SpO2 tracking headaches.
Okay, here they are. These are the 3 things your watch absolutely must have to give you a reading. Number 1, a snug fit. Number 2, at least 3 hours of good sleep. And number 3, and this is a big one, the 1-hour sync delay. Let's break down exactly why each of these is so critical.
Okay, rule number 1, and this is probably the most important one, the fit. Your watch cannot be sliding around on your wrist. Think about it. If it's loose, those little sensors can't get a clean, steady reading of the light bouncing back. It needs to be snug. Now, I don't mean cut off your circulation tight, but it needs to be secure enough that it stays put while you're sleeping. All right, rule number 2, and this comes straight from the horse's mouth, from Fitbit support itself. Your watch needs a big chunk of data to analyze. It can't just take a snapshot. So that means you got to get at least 3 hours of pretty solid quality sleep. If you're tossing and turning all night long or getting up a bunch, the watch just won't have enough clean, stable data to work with. Simple as that.
And here we go. This is the one that gets almost everybody. Patience. After you wake up, you sync your Fitbit, right? Well, it can take up to an hour for Fitbit's computers to crunch all that sleep data and figure out your SpO2 level. So if you sync it, look immediately and see those dashes, don't panic. Just go make some coffee, give it some time, and check back a little later. This is a huge one.
Okay, so what if you've done all 3 of those golden rules perfectly and you are still getting those dashed lines? Well, this next part is almost guaranteed to be your aha moment. This is the single biggest reason for confusion, and it all comes down to one simple thing: which Fitbit model you actually have.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the most important fix of all. If you have an older Fitbit, we're talking like a Versa 2 or an Ionic, you must use a specific SpO2 clock face. You have to install it and have it active overnight. If you're using any other clock face, it's just not going to work. Now, if you have a newer model, like a Sense 2 or a Charge 6, it's totally different. The tracking is automatic. It just happens in the background. You don't need a special clock face at all. This one little difference is why so many people are struggling to get a reading.
Okay, problem solved. You should be all set now to get your data and get it consistently. But what do the numbers even mean? Now that you have them, let's take a quick look at how to actually read this data and what it might be telling you about your health.
Finding your data couldn't be easier. Just open up your Fitbit app on your phone and look for the tile that says Health Metrics. Tap on that. Inside, you'll see your oxygen saturation report. It'll give you your average for the night, and you'll even see a cool graph showing how your levels went up and down while you were asleep.
So what's a good number? First off, don't be surprised if your levels are a bit lower when you're asleep compared to when you're awake. That's totally normal because your breathing naturally slows down. But for most healthy adults, you want to see that number staying above 90%. If you're consistently seeing readings below that, well, that's something you might want to pay a little closer attention to.
So now that you're successfully tracking this really powerful metric, it kind of makes you think, right? What else could I be learning about my health? And that leads us to a really important question. Is your current Fitbit really giving you all the info you need?
You know, the biggest advantage with the newer models really boils down to two things: convenience and a much bigger picture of your health. You get that awesome passive SpO2 tracking we just talked about, no more messing with special clock faces. Plus, the sensors themselves are usually more advanced, and all that data gets woven together with other stuff like your body temp and stress levels. It just gives you a way deeper understanding of your total well-being.
And that really brings us to the final thought for today. Now that you've unlocked this super powerful feature, take a good look at the data you're collecting. Think about what your health goals are, and just ask yourself a simple question. Is the watch I'm wearing actually keeping up with what I want to achieve? Thanks for tuning in for this explainer.